Very good morning to one and all. Those of you who are listening to Classic 105.5 GBN TV. Welcome to the mid-morning buzz here on Classic Radio and the GBN TV. Good morning to all my social media audience also. Good morning those of you who have our Facebook page, YouTube channels. Good morning and welcome. My two guests in studio. Let me say good morning to you. We have Mr. Daniel Dubiffette with me this morning and Mr. Earl. I think I'm missing your second name. Sylvan, yeah. Good morning. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the mid-morning buzz here on Classic and GBN TV. How are you really doing?
Good morning. Very well indeed.
All right. Well, our conversation this morning is all about the annual reunion. Is it the PBC International? That's how it's referred to?
No, the Presman International.
Presman International. All right. And it's all about the annual reunion coming up this weekend. A couple of weeks ago, we had the PBC having their. Of course, there's somebody just timing on my screen, but a couple of weeks ago we had the PBC celebrated their 75th anniversary.
That's correct.
You understand, and now it's moving to the Pressman International. Tell us about the Pressman International. What is this actually about?
So the Pressman International reunion is a reunion that began in North America by some of the past students of Presentation College in San Fernando in Trinidad.
Okay.
And because of the strong brotherhood that the guys had, and also due to the fact that we had two teams, one I think at the tail end of the 70s and one in the mid 80s or so, two outstanding football teams, and the guys had a bit of a, how to put it, the usual banter that people have when we meet up. So in terms of like which team was better, so they decided once and for all, it's only one way to decide it.
All right. We should have gotten to this before we got into that. Tell me something about yourself. So I am obviously a past student. I attended there from 1991 to 98, so left after A-levels. Former PBC Grenada?
No, PBC in Trinidad. In San Fernando.
Because I'm gasping a bit of an accent, that's why I asked. I'm gasping a bit of an accent, that's why I actually asked.
Yeah, I don't usually able to hold the Grenadian accent for too long, so I'll be going in and out.
No problem.
But I've been here for a few weeks, so so sometimes it's be a little easier.
All right. Well, that's it. Well, of course, before we started the conversation, he was kind of bringing back a little bit of history as Daniel, but still tell me something about yourself.
Yeah, I went to school I started in 1978 and finished in 1983. I always said I was a student of the revolution. At that time, I wouldn't dare make any bones about it, because that was the time. And
good old days, eh?
Good old days, yes. And a lot of people will remember me as PBC top athlete.
Your name is ringing a bell for some reason or the other, You're talking to me and I'm somehow something has been triggered every time you talk and you say certain things. Something is triggered, but I'm still trying to wrap around it for some reason or the other.
Probably may get it before the end of the day.
I'm still trying to grasp it for some reason or the other, but it's going to come before the end of the day, as you said. No, the Pressman International. We know there's this annual reunion weekend. How is this? Tell me how the process of this and what's going to be taking place this weekend.
So this weekend, what we're going to have tonight most of the events that we're having would be in the Montrouge area there in Grand Anse. So this evening we are having a meet and greet at the Grenada Trade Center.
Okay.
So what you have is all the attendees for the reunion. After they come in, get settled into the hotel, you come and you register for the weekend. Sometimes, usually, you'll have a package with some tokens and things, so those will be handed out for the guests, and it gives the attendees an opportunity to meet with each other, because in some cases they might have guys showing up who haven't seen some of the classmates for sometimes 10, 20, 30 years, or maybe a few years. Those of us who have been regular attendees is a year-to-year something, so something that we look forward to. It also gives an opportunity for those who are traveling with their spouses give them the opportunity to meet with some of the guys, get familiar with some of the faces, to the names that they've probably been hearing from the time they get married and probably before, or maybe people that might have talked to on the phone, or you see, especially now with the days in this time on social media, so you're always seeing the picture of these guys and things, so to actually get to meet them in the flesh and that kind of thing.
Now, who this comprised of? You mentioned that the folks will be coming in, so I mean, it's going to be inclusive of BBC past students from around the Caribbean.
Well, this is the first one that we have in the Caribbean. All previous iterations were in North America, and actually usually what we would have is we'd have guests from some of the other schools from South Trinidad.
Okay.
So like one of the brother schools to the PBC Association, St. Benedict's College,
St. Mary's.
Like some of the St. Mary's guys, so the ones who would have interaction with the Presmen. Also, even from our rival school in Trinidad, Naparima Boys College. We have a few of those as well, because while yes is a Pers college reunion, once you're in North America, you're West Indian first before you become an islander and all that kind of thing. And
Tell me how Presman International actually kicked off. Although you give some insights to the story, but how did it actually kick off? How this actually came about?
So,
Again, give a brief history of it.
Yeah, so it started in. So I was saying before about the guys deciding, because of the brotherhood and wanting to do the rivalry through sport, and kind of settle that kind of once and for all thing in terms of which team was better. And that eventually evolved into a situation where, as guys got older, we went from just let's say the class 78 or whatever versus 83 or 85 or whatever. We went from that to playing a game of old boys versus older boys.
Right.
And it eventually morphed into its present situation where sometimes we would play a game usually of local versus foreign based, or sometimes we would just everybody come together and we pick two teams.
So the formation of the group was kicked off
teams.
more in a sense of a sporting activity.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Now, Daniel, how you kicked into this?
Well, I kicked into this because Mr. Jeremiah called me and said, no. He called me and I called him back, he didn't answer. And then I looked at my phone and I got a message from Earl. Mr. Jeremiah gave me a number and what. And so I called him, and the next day we had a meeting. And then he was briefing me on what the situation is.
Yeah.
First time to the Caribbean as press. But there are people here that are willing to join the press because as you grow older, you want to communicate with the older folks from another place, and it gives you time probably to visit wherever. So in that, it will be a good thing to take a holiday within a holiday.
True.
So you meet others as well as he said, you get to get a holiday at the same time. Which is interesting.
All right. Now, today, as you say, today being the 19th, we're going to have that registration cocktail reception. Give us a little bit of insight on that.
So it starts at 6:30 at the Grenada Trade Center.
You did mention that.
In the gazebo area. Tomorrow, the 20th, we're going to have the football game at the Montrouge ground.
Okay.
The difference this year is that, this actually was supposed to happen in 2020.
Okay.
And obviously because of the pandemic and all of that, it get pushed back to this year. So what we are having is that we are having a triangular, not a tournament, but series of games with Real Old Men of Grenada,
Okay.
a PBC team that Mr. Dubiffette has been feverishly trying to assemble.
All right.
And then the guys
What's the success rate?
We going well. We doing well. We doing well.
and the guys from Trinidad. So so basically is PBC Trinidad, PBC Sando versus PBC Grenada versus Real Old Men.
Real Old Men. All right. All right. Well, that's at least going to be interesting. And we have that beach lime also coming up on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, I guess that's going to accumulate everything and everybody come together.
Yeah. So the weekend, as he said, which is what we have morphed into, is that it's a weekend of activity, not solely just about coming to play football or just coming to meet some of your partners you haven't seen for a while and have some drinks. It's a weekend, in addition to the camaraderie, you also have the networking opportunities.
Yes.
So if you need to find out certain things from certain people, you also have the opportunity to, as you say, get a holiday within a holiday, because we've been to, I think, probably the majority of the major cities in the United States. So Miami, New York, Atlanta, even Toronto. We've done some of the, even LA as well, as recently as 2017. I think they had one even in like Ohio as well. So even some places that you may not have expected to find West Indians and then Chinese, but I mean.
So does Brisbane
we like
International
salt.
also incorporate any charitable events also in between?
Well, the weekend is a fundraising event actually.
Okay.
And the funds raised are used to, one, give back to the college in terms of the various activities at the college. Also, of late, we've had students coming up from the college heading to North America as student athletes, even those on academic scholarship. Once they have tapped into the brotherhood, and if they are in need of getting things, because some people usually feel that because you go on scholarship that
Everything is taken care of, not always.
Only to reach and realize that you may need to have certain things provided for you, or certain things are not provided for you and you need to have that on your own. So over I think we've had probably like 2 or 3 athletes pass through so far. I think one of the first guys who was there, he already graduated from school.
Okay.
And that kind of thing. So usually as well, we have a tight rapport with the Past Students Association in Trinidad as well. So usually we try to maintain and synergize in terms of the activities happening in the college, so that it helps to sensitize those who are in North America and maybe may not have the time to always be checking the Facebook feed, checking WhatsApp group or whatever.
Okay.
Or because usually in our WhatsApp group, especially with 200 plus people, when you pick up your phone and you see 1,000 unread messages in that group, you're not going to check everything. So
what's one of the main philosophy of the organization?
The main philosophy, I think, well, I would say, is in the ethos of PBC itself, which is that you need to be of service to your brother and to your wider community.
Okay.
So in all that we do, it is about service.
All right. Interesting. So the event is happening this weekend. I mean, certainly hope for the success. Hope folks comes out. The local guys come out.
Yep.
Encourage folks to come probably to get cheer on. You understand? Yep. And I certainly hope it turns out to be a success.
So do I. I mean, even though our input was kind of late, but I do hope that a lot of locals show up. Even at the football at the session tonight. I mean, meet people, see how, or get to know how our past students could be linked to the pressmen and and be a part of the group as well.
All right.
And also, this year we are having our 75th anniversary celebration.
Okay.
So
And that's in Trinidad.
yeah.
Trinidad, yeah.
So that's San Fernando, because we have there actually are two presentation brothers colleges in Trinidad.
Okay.
So one in San Fernando, and then there's another in Chaguanas.
All right.
But also bear in mind, Glenn, that Presentation Brothers Grenada was the first presentation in the Caribbean.
Yes. I speaking to Mr. Jeremiah when they were actually having him at the 75th, and we had a lengthy conversation, myself and him coming in here, and we chat, and he gave out a lot of information pertaining to it. And it certainly was a success, the celebration last year.
Yeah. Actually, I'm supposed to still be the standing.
I'm trying to guess what you're going to say.
Of the alumni.
And the alumni.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been dormant for a while, but still the man in the lead.
All right, man. All right. I want to thank you both for popping in this morning and share the information. So I wish all the success on the event over the weekend. As we mentioned, folks come out. Any closing remarks you all want to before we take a wrap?
All I want to do is ask guys to come out and support. I mean, there will be a bar, there will be music. Lots of, as we say, there may be people that we haven't seen in a long time. Meet, and communicate, and we could also send our signals further than we are sending it. Because then you may know somebody that I am not in contact with.
So true.
And then we could always join that one in and continue just making a group, so we could have just group chats whenever messages go out. At least you're not like a bird in water trying to see if you can take your head out.
Who's that?
Who's this and who's that? So, no, and that is very important, because some people say they don't get information. But the thing is, some of them was on the chat we had, they exit themselves for whatever reason. They feel the 75th is over. But it's always good to keep and to know what is happening among.
It's like maintaining that brotherhood.
Yeah, it's very important.
Maintaining
Very
that
important,
brotherhood,
yes.
maintaining that
Very
brotherhood.
important.
All right. Anything in closing, Earl, before we take a wrap?
I would echo these sentiments of Mr. Dubiffette, and also the plan that we want to have going forward is that we want to strengthen the network between the PBC schools in the region, so that eventually probably we could have something like a Prayers Cup, where we give the youngsters the opportunity to visit the different islands, make those links earlier. I mean, and now through social media, a lot easier to maintain those links, because I think that there were some guys who came here on a trip from the college sometime in the 80s, probably the mid-80s, the mid to late 80s. So some of those guys haven't been to Grenada since that, so we're talking about nearly 30 plus years.
And lost that communication.
So therefore, whoever you would have met then,
yeah,
totally lost. So now we want to foster that level of camaraderie throughout the whole organization in the region, and rather than just being silos within the region, let's come together as a block and probably even be extended to the guys who we have in terms of the diaspora throughout in the US and the UK.
Okay.
Because I was told that there is a fairly vibrant PBC Grenada group in the US as well.
Okay.
So next year,
And in Canada.
I
as well.
think that the next iteration may be somewhere in the US or Canada next
Okay.
year. So therefore, those guys should be part of that next year as well.
You know, and it'll be nice to see if we get that into cooperation with everybody and be at one major event one of these days.
That's right.
That's something can happen.
Well, that's what we're working up to. So, as he said, now that he has become part of it, we're going to forge that link and ensure that we can have it as soon as possible in terms of how we go forward. And it's not necessarily a case of trying to be there one time, but a work
I mean,
in progress.
it's a working process and
exactly,
it's something on the bill. Because we know times has changed. It's not, you know, the way the guys of your era would have measured, you know, it's kind of different now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You understand? And if you all can maintain that, it will certainly be a plus.
And we could all meet at our same place from our different place at the same place.
Interesting.
You know, that's why we have Zoom meetings so everybody could join in.
Exactly. All right. I want to thank you both once again. Pleasure having you and success in terms of the activities over the weekend.
Thank you, man.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Hey, folks, as we take a wrap for the mid-morning buzz here on Classic Radio and GBN TV, folks, join us again for another edition. All the best, folks.